Keep it up. Good evening everyone and welcome to SLR Season 12. Today we got Tier 3 in Monaco. It's going to be a spicy race. A lot of front wing lost and maybe new winners for this tier. I got a new guy co-commentator with me. His name is Julian. Welcome, Julian.
Hello, thank you. Thanks for having me, guys. It's been a while since I've commentated on any race, really, but happy to be here for an exciting race at Monaco.
Yeah, it's gonna be spicy, to be honest. Like, Monaco is always a spicy race. Like, it's so hard to keep off the walls, to be honest. Like, I don't think anyone likes to race here, unless you're a psychopath, to be honest. But
it's all about keeping it on the track.
Yeah, we'll see if they can keep it on track, to be honest. But T3 have been a bit chaotic lately, to be honest. But we just hope this race is a bit more, you know, careful and calculated from the drivers. We got Chief on the lap currently. He's the first one on lap. So, what's your expectations for Monaco? Did you have any practice in Monaco lately, or?
It's been a while since I've raced here. I still need to practice for Friday's race in Tier 1, but in the past I've raced there quite a bit, and it's always been chaotic. It's always been a race full of attrition. Many people will lose their wings, as you mentioned in the beginning. Very easy to do that. Also, break yourself into turn 1, for example. Especially if it's wet, it's going to be a chaotic race. That will be even worse. I don't think we have weather information available right now, but hopefully it's dry for these 15 drivers to get hopefully a nice and clean race in. But yeah, attrition is always the name of the game, so if you can keep it on the track, a points finish is pretty likely.
Yeah, and now we're following with Chief on his first lap. We'll go on board with him and see how he does. Very nice. He's on the limit, to be honest. But the first lap you want to be a bit careful because you want to get a bit of a banker first lap. You want to be losing any wings or DNFing yourself in the first lap. But he's been on it. A bit of missed apexes, but all is good. Chief has missed only the first race, but he's planning to come back in a big way to challenge for the championship. And he does the chicane. Oh, yeah, he's a bit too careful on the track limits. He seems to be taking his time to put in a good lap. But Monaco is dangerous in a banker on a hot lap. It's always a dangerous track. But yeah, he's a purple sector 2, but it's the first one, and he goes on a straight right now. Let's see the first lap time in Tier 3, and it's at 11.4. That is good, actually, lap time.
Yep, here comes Boost's mess now across the line. 14.3, so that's 3 seconds down. Probably had enough somewhere.
Ooh, as Lepsin is at 10.89. Lepsin is a big contender for the championship. He was on it the last 2 races in Bahrain and Spain. But yeah, he's been having a bit of unfortunate incidents with other people, and Miss front wings have been the catalyst for his bad performance, to be honest. But yeah, Bance has invalidated his first lap, and he's going on a second one right now.
Rolly Voice as well, he also invalidated.
As Tipsy, the second Ferrari puts a lap a 12.1. Tipsy has been on it lately, but he's been feeling down under the weather lately. He's been sick this race, so don't expect the usual Tipsy to show up today. But he's been he's been coming to the racing with sickness. Has been admirable, to be honest. But
Yeah,
as
difficult.
the Alpha Tauri, has he crashed? I can't really see it, but I see him stuck in the chicane though. And his car is lifted. Yeah, he seems to be he DNF'd in the chicane, sadly. Maybe on the inside wall or the outside. That is very unfortunate for Kagenius. He's a reserve from Tier 2, and yeah, he has a 30.0. It's not really competitive lap time, but yeah.
Rolly Voice into P7 with a 12.2 basically. On another lap, I think, or is it an out lap? Or in lap, sorry.
Yeah, as Kerkidis puts in an 11.8, but yeah, in Tier 3 people like to do 2 hot laps right next to each other. They are capable of that because like they don't push on the first lap, so they save a bit of ERS and some tire wear for the second lap. But yeah, let's see. Shakalaka is lagging all over, but ooh, at 12.4. Yeah, they seem to be taking a bit of carefulness to the track. They're not all pushing to the limit, because I've seen some of the TT laps here from Tier 3 drivers, and they've been really on it. You know, a lot of low 10s and some 9s. So yeah, they're capable of doing very good lap times, to be honest. But yeah, Tipsy is coming across the line and puts in 11.5. He's very close to the championship contender heat. He's been on it. He won also last race in Spain, but yeah, an 11.5 is not really that competitive to fight at the top.
Yeah, and the gap's also, excuse me, the gap's also pretty big right now. And like you said, they are a little bit off their normal pace. But another thing that I want to say is, if you drive around Monaco, it's very much a rhythm track. So if you are doing a bank lap, trying to take it easy, often you make more mistakes because you aren't as aware of your surroundings as you are when you're pushing. It sounds a little bit weird, but it is true. When you push harder, it's actually easier to nail a lap together than taking it easy, which kind of contradicts itself in a way. But it is one of those things around Monaco which really does explain the big gaps, because the gap from P1 laps into Ocean Chief is half a second. Then you have about a tenth back that's to that band, and then you have 4 tenths to Kyria Kiddies, and then everybody else basically is a second or further off the pole. So that explains those big gaps, as most of the people are coming back into the pits now to get ready for their second run.
Yeah, I did some practice here in yesterday, but yeah, it seems to be very impossible to overtake, to be honest. Like, even if you're have a pace on the other guy, he has to let you overtake. Like, if he wants to stop you, he will stop you, and if you want to go for it, you can both crash into the wall, to be honest. But yeah, you want to do a good qualifying here, because it's likely to be your finishing position if you don't really do any mistakes or hit the walls.
Well, if you're Otis Lawrence, you can just push them out of the way. Just shove them out of the way.
Yeah, we hope to see better racecraft, to be honest, in SLR, but yeah. You can really block, you can do a train here like Alonso last year, so yeah, it's gonna be a big a big point in strategy and also qualifying, how you qualify.
Yep.
But
CM Punk across the line now goes to P10, 1.4 seconds off, so a decent lap time for Punk's first run.
Yeah, as Chief now crossing the line, he was in P2 and improved by only 2 tenths. That's good improvement. But Lepsin His banker still stands at pole. He's been. Let's watch his lap here right now. He's on the chicane right now, but his 10.8 has been unbeatable to at least to now. But Tipsy puts in a 10.0 up to P2 right now.
Oh, 6 tenths up for Lepson right now.
Ooh.
This might
And
be a 1:09.
Yeah, could be. He's a purple sector 2 also. He got some teammate traffic ahead of him, but could be helpful with a slipstream. Ooh, a 10.4. 4 tenths improvement from Lepson. That's good lap time from him. Let's see him improve finally his form.
Did get held up a little bit there by a car in front as Heat goes to P2 now with a 10.6.
Oh, Heat is back. Heat is he's been on it the last 2 races. He won in Bahrain, and he's looking to challenge Vance, his rival currently in the championship, for the win. Yeah. He seems to be charging though, Heat. I think he abandoned his lap. Could have been lost maybe some time in the first sector, but yeah, as Crowley improved to P6 with an 11.8. Almost crashes into turn 1 on his second hot lap, but I think he now is he's aborted his second lap.
Yep, Shakalaka also improves, but doesn't really improve his position, still P12.
Yeah, and let's see Wesley, the second McLaren crossing the line right now, improves to P6. Wesley had a good time in the last game in F1 22 in Tier 2. He has been very fast and he's been improving a lot, but he's in this game he's been taking a bit of a pace drop. So I expect him to be... Oh, wait, 1 second. As Larsen improves to P2 at 10.5 with the last sector purple. Wow.
Both Aston Martins set a pretty good lap time, by the way. Tilt also improves to P6. But Larsen is probably the biggest challenger to pole right now. And Lepson might have thought that he was good enough to get the pole. But right now, I'm not sure if he is sure if he needs to go out again. He probably should do, because we have 7 minutes left. And that's a lot of time for Larsen to improve and also Heat to improve. Those are the 2 closest people to him. But don't count out Tipsy Bob yet, as well as Stadbanks.
Yeah, and also Kirkidis is pushing the limits. I'm watching right now. He's about to cross the line. He's about to put an 11.3 improvement by 5 tenths. He's been like scraping every wall in the track, to be honest. But as CM Punk crashes onto the entry of the chicane. That's the second victim of the chicane, to be honest, with Kaginas, the first one.
Yep, and Punk definitely hit the inside wall. They're very easy to do as you're trying to make the track as wide as possible. Try to run as close to the wall as possible too, to take as much speed as possible. And if you just turn in maybe a meter too early, you will pay the price for that, which he did. And yep, that's it for qualifying for CM Punk.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Vance puts a 10.6. Ooh, and drifting out of the... What is that, Vance? He's on his in-lap, but he seems to be drifting all over. But yeah, a 10.6, 10th gap between first and second and third currently. Very close lap times, but yeah, that is very exciting to be from the other drivers. Seems to be a close field in Monaco here.
Yeah, that Vance is playing 22, I think.
Yeah.
Sliding his way around the corners all the time.
Yeah, Vance is as he slams the wall, he's a 10-minute practice guy, so he's not really like a sweat in this game, but he's pretty fast, to be honest, for his practice times. It's a bit quiet right now. No one is on a hot lap, but Boosted is starting his lap right now. Boosted is on a Williams. He's been having a quiet season in Tier 3. He's been last season he's been fighting with Chief and Tipsy in Tier 1, but in this game he's been not really on the pace. But let's see his lap time. You know what I see from Tier 3 usually? They like to hold the brake and the gas at the same time. It's very interesting technique, to be honest.
Yeah, you need to be trail braking. Basically, what trail braking is you start off at a high brake pressure, basically. And then as you turn in for the corner, you release that brake. And then as soon as you come off the throttle, you slowly start applying the throttle again. So it's basically a trail of the input. You see on the telemetry, basically the green and the red for the brakes and throttle is. You need to connect this in your mind. It's a trail. And then when you get on the throttle again, the trail continues, if that makes sense. That's what you need to do in order to be fast. It's very difficult to master and how to do it perfectly, but if you get the right amount of practice, you can definitely really improve on that. But yeah, these Tier 3 drivers still need to work on that technique a little bit, which, as I said, is very difficult to master, and Monaco isn't exactly the place where you can learn that very easily, because you don't really do trail braking here, because it's braking in a straight line and then turning, and then applying the throttle again, except for turn 1, turn 4 here. Those are the two main corners where you do that, but other than that, it's pretty simple straight line braking.
Yeah, it helps a lot with the rotation, especially in the slow corners. Even here, even with the ABS on, it really helps to have a bit more rotation to the car, because it's a bit understeer here in F1 23. Actually, improves by only 2/10 up to P12.
Heat is starting a lap now, across the line.
Oh, as Tipsy slams the last corner. A bit of front wing damage maybe, but that is, I think, maybe his last lap, to be honest. He can't really push for another lap. But yeah, let's watch Heat right now. He has a bit of traffic ahead of him. Heat, let's see his... It's a very tricky hairpin, to be honest, in this game. I've been struggling a lot with it. You need a bit of ABS handbrake to, rotate the car here. But Heat is fast approaching the Alfa Romeo, but yeah, he steps away. Let's see his second sector time from Heat. Ooh, it's only matching his personal best. But let's see, maybe his sector 3 is a bit lacking. We'll see now.
Build up to P5, by the way, 10.999.
The special lap time from Tilda. He's been improving a lot this game.
Yes, there we go. 10.2.
What a lap! What a lap from Heat, showing everyone he's here to fight for the championship. He's been on it the last 2 races, but yeah, 10.2. Let's see Lepsin. Lepsin is on now in the last sector. I think he's not on the ERS, so it's kind of weird. Maybe he abandoned his last lap, to be honest, but yeah.
Wow, close to the wall there. This is crunch time, guys. 1 minute left in qualifying.
Yeah, seems like everyone abandoned their last laps, but yeah, Vance is now starting his final lap right now. And also, let's see the Alfa Romeo of Crowley now in the chicane. Traffic is a big factor in Monaco. It's very hard to leave the gap for the other guys on the hot lap, but oh, he's pushing really hard, touching some of the walls. Let's see what lap times he puts. It's clear track ahead of him, Crowley. As he puts in an 11.2, improved to P8. That is good lap time from him, as Larsen is starting his final lap right now. But let's see Lepsin though. Lepsin is on his final lap right now. Let's see what lap times he puts in.
This is gonna be it. I can feel it. Ah!
Oh wow, he lost
Didn't have
time.
a good final sector. Yeah, it was all in the final sector for Lepsin.
As boosted crashes into the start finish line walls, but Bantz is coming up to the finish line right now. Ooh, improves to P2 at 10.3. But no one seems to be challenging in Heat. I think Larsen maybe right now is the only one on a hot lap right now. Let's see what lap time he puts in. But Lepson was on it the first lap as he leaves the session. There is hopefully not really internet issues for Lepson as he is in P3 right now. But yeah, Larsen is scraping every wall, but he backs out.
Yep, was already half a second down, wasn't going to improve anyway, and tops it off by hitting the wall. So I believe that's it for qualifying.
Yeah, that's it. I'm really surprised with a low 10 to be honest on T3. It's very good lap time from him. But the gaps are still a bit too big between the top and the lower, like P2 or P2 to P12. Seems to be they're a bit afraid of the walls in Monaco. But yeah, it's good heats in P1 with a 10.2, Bans 10.3, and Lepson with a 10.4. Extremely close.
Yep, top 7 within a second.
Yeah, that is. Was also the Aston Martins in P4 and P5. That's good lap time. Larson has been on it the last race in Spain. He's I think got a podium in P3. But yeah, it's good. Good lap times from everyone to be honest. But yeah, let's see if everyone can keep their front wings attached to their car in the race. And maybe there's maybe rain also. We don't know. It seems to be clear today in qualifying, but let's see in the race. Do you have any thoughts about strategy or haven't done no practice in Monaco?
Should be a pretty straightforward soft medium, I think, with the low degradation of Monaco in general.
I've done a soft medium in the practice, and it's kind of hard to pull out. To be honest, like it's too many laps, and this can overheat your tires also. And dig is a bit higher than expected. To be honest, like I think most people do like a medium hard. And maybe a hard softs, we'll see. Also, there can be safety cars in Monaco, so we'll see if it affected strategies, but yeah.
I wonder if people are going to do a medium soft, because if you start off the race with the medium, it can go quite a long distance, and then at the end of the race, when the fuel burns down, you can get less tire wear. But anyway, here we go. Yeah. So we got 5 red lights, and heat from Paul. Gets off the line pretty well as that bands alongside here. Slipstream right behind him now for turn 1 as we have the 2 Astons going side by side with the McLaren. Lepson backs out of it there as we got the 2 McLarens in P3 and P4 as we have an Aston Martin off the track there that's still moving down to P14. Tipsy Bob also in 15th right now, but Heat still leads from that bands. Larson, Lepson, Wesley, Crawley Follies, Just Finney, Burkidis and CM Punk and Ocean Chief running off the top 10 at the moment.
Yeah, Tipsy fell off hard from I think P6 or P5 to P14 right now. That is unfortunate for Tipsy, but yeah, it's been quiet right now. Turn 1 was a bit chaotic, but I think it's gonna be a bit quieter right now. But Lepson, CM Punk and Chief, the only one with the hard tires currently. Everyone is on mediums. That is surprising from Lepson, to be honest. The Haas are very slow, to be honest, in Monaco. You'll be under pressure a lot from the guys behind.
Just went back to the stream and Tilt went straight on in turn 1 there, I think, so just had to reverse out and rejoin. So that's really going to hurt his race. But at the end of lap 1, Heat still leads. Has a 7/10 of a second gap to P2. And then, we have a move for position there.
Yeah, Chief pits. Yeah, I think he's maybe has wing damage. He pits for the soft tires, no, the medium tires with the wing damage, with the front wing change. Also Tilda. But yeah, we got some slow guys here. I don't know. Kaginis is holding up the Tipsy and boosted train.
Ooh, yeah, thought about sending it.
Ooh, big crash in. Oh, I don't know what turn is that, but I think Kaginis is out or not. Yeah, only wing damage. That was a big crash from Kaginis with Tipsy and boosted. That is unfortunate for everyone.
Yeah, and Shakalakalo wisely stopped this car. He thought about going through there, but then at the last second decided to just stop the car because he saw Kaginis was going to rejoin. And luckily no contact for any of those people. But at the moment, just Vinny up 4 spots, biggest mover along with CM Punk. So good starts for those 2 drivers as Boosted Mess gets a 10-second penalty for corner cutting the chicane. So he's going to have to serve that at his next pit stop. As that band's still within a second, trying to hold on to the DRS, but it's going to be difficult as he is 1.1 seconds away now. So he's going to have to work for it in this second sector coming up to close the gap back down again to stay inside the DRS. But Larson outside of a second of the car in front, and so is Lepson. So no DRS for any of the front runners except for Wesley running right behind his teammate.
Yeah, we're seeing a big gaps between the drivers here in Monaco. Only lap 3, and people are already gonna get lapped, to be honest. But Lepsin joins back in. He seems to be having connection issues. But yeah, Heat in front is using all of his ERS to pull a gap from Pants, but Pants saving up some ERS and still within like 1/10 of the DRS gap. Also, Larson is quiet in P3 with 80% ERS.
Yeah, his AI has been saving ERS. Sorry, Lepson that was, sorry. Never mind.
Yeah, yeah. And seems like Wesley is stuck behind his teammate, Lepson. Yeah, Wesley is on mediums, a faster tire than the Haas. And he's holding up his, the whole train from P4 to P7 maybe.
Yeah, Lepson moves out of the way. Lets him by. Ooh. Side by side up the hill. Don't want to do that too often, but Crowley Voice also gets by. As Lepson really struggling now, it seems, up the hill, gets a little bit of understeer, but slots into P6 nicely now. As Vinny right behind is also trying to get by, but it's going to be difficult here in the middle part of the lap. Very slow corners here, the hairpin. Does have a chance into the chicane though if he gets a good exit here. Let's see if he can get one. Nope. Turns in too early there, had to correct his steering.
Yeah, but he's using some ERS also.
Yeah, maybe he will make a move here, as Lepson really off the pace here, not getting any engine power it seems from the ERS, so not sure why that is, but still holds on to the position though as he loses 1.8 seconds now to the cars in front. So let's move to Crawley Voice now, trying to get by Wesley for P4. And also let's not forget about the leaders, that band's 6/10 away. So
yeah.
Keep an eye on that.
As Larson in the pit lane, already lap 5. Is it a wing change? Oh, it is a wing change. That is very sad for Larson. He was in P3. But yeah, that's the cause of Monaco, to be honest. Wing damage is very easy to get.
Yep, it's a very attrition filled race, which is also one of the reasons I won here myself a few years ago in Tier 1 when it was a red race. And everybody in front of me crashed out, so I took the win.
That seems to be strat in Monaco, to be honest. But yeah, I think they have to keep their noses clean from the walls. And podiums and points will come. But yeah, Vinny is on the heel of Lepson. He's pushing him around, to be honest. On Sector 2, he's trying to pull a move into the chicane. Let's see. Oh, Lepson just lets him go.
Oh.
As he retires on track. Lepson on track retiring. Could be a safety car. We'll see, but yeah, he seems to have connection issues, I think, Lepson.
Wesley also. What's happening to the McLarens here?
What is happening? I have no idea, but it's a VSC right now. It's only a VSC.
Almost fun.
Yeah, the McLaren maybe team protesting the Monaco Grand Prix, I don't know. But Wesley and Lepson are both out right now. And we'll see any pit stops in the VSC. Maybe it's too early, but yeah, that's surprising from the McLaren team, to be honest.
Yeah, I doubt we'll see any pit stops though, because the gaps are just too big. You won't really gain anything. If you do get clean air, there's always the very high possibility of crashing out. We've seen it before already in this race, the previous 6 laps. So I think everybody will just decide to slot into a nice rhythm now. We have 14 cars left. 13, sorry. Yes, there was 13 because I was looking at the running order here. With Wesley still slipping down, but yeah, the gaps are just too big. You're not really going to gain anything by pushing and trying to overtake. If you just run your own race, you might get a good result out of it, which I think everybody really is doing, except the top 2 it seems, because they are still going hard at it.
Yeah, and the Heat also put a better gap from Bance. But I think Bance is still with him. Like they're having the same pace. Like some laps they're closing, some laps they're a bit getting pushed out. But yeah, that seems like the P1 and 2 are like solidified for Heat and Bance. But yeah, Crowley is 11 seconds back from the top 2. It's gonna be a bit of a quiet race, to be honest. Like the gaps are very big. Only in lap 7, but hopefully some action happens as Kirkid's closing on Shakalaka. Let's watch that. Kirkid, I think he pitted earlier for a wing change to the hards, but yeah, let's see. And
I'm surprised Heat is still keeping the gap as it is with that ERS deficit that he has. Well, it's about the same now, but at the start of the lap, Heat was still down 20% from that Bance. But now it's pretty much the same, so I guess it's a straight fight again between those two now, as Bance does use a little bit of the overtake button here to catch the gap again, trying to stay within DRS, but yeah, 12 seconds to the next car behind is a pretty big gap, so I doubt we'll see any changes between the podium runners right now, as Finn is also 3 seconds back. But another thing that might be interesting to look into as well is those 2 front runners potentially doing a 2-stopper to try and secure the fastest lap bonus point at the end of the race, because they do have the margin. And we're only 8 laps in, remember, so still 32 laps to go, 31, 32 laps to go. So anything can happen still, but I think those 2 will run away with it, with potentially Heat gapping Bance as the race goes on.
Yeah, as Tuna Man in chat is saying, I wonder if it's impossible to get an SC at Monaco. But yeah, we tested the SC in Monaco before the race, and it seems to be working. But it's I think it's a bit reserved, not really that as like some races like CD with a safety car. But yeah, Kirkidis is struggling behind Shakalaka. He has a bit of ping issues. It's kind of weird. Shakalaka is like jumping ahead of behind. It's gonna be hard to overtake like someone like that with a bit of network issues, to be honest. But yeah.
Oh, he has left the section. He's disconnected. This might give that Bance the opportunity to get the lead. Hopefully Heat can get back in. Oh, that Bance is so close already. He might already get him out of the... Oh, he's gonna go for it here.
Yeah.
AI moves out of the way. Gonna try it, but doesn't work.
AI is a bit reserved here in this game, but it's still Monaco though. Oh, as his game crashed, I think Heat is getting back into the game right now. Side by side into the chicane. Let's see, Bance drifting. I can barely see. They are side by side right now. Let's. Oh, makes the clean move, Bance around the outside of Heat. The AI of Heat at least, but yeah, that is very unfortunate for Heat. But I think his game crashed and he's still getting back in right now.
Shakalaka going side by side with Kirkidis, yes.
Yeah, but he still makes a move. Now he's back up to P8, and Shakalaka just moving all over, like lagging. It seems to be impossible to race someone like that. As Chief makes it past Shakalaka in P9. Are you seeing the lag in Shakalaka, or I'm the only one?
Yeah, no, I'm seeing it also. It's pretty bad, yes.
Yeah. As Heat joins back in, he'll be sad to see his car in P2, not in P1, but still a long race, though. 29 laps left, so he can still come back, I think. It's gonna be hard.
On
But
the bright side,
yeah.
on the bright side, he does have about 20%, 30% more ERS now than Deadbands does, so he can use that to close the gap. And maybe through a strategy, he can do an undercut or even an overcut, depending on what Deadbands does, to try and retake the lead. Still a long race, like you said, so the race is definitely not over. It's going to be compromised, though, with that disconnect, as we have a lap car moving out of the way. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for Heat to get the lead back, but not impossible. So we have another yellow flag in Sector 2. Kauginis has retired from the session.
Yeah, he stunned the wall up pretty hard. Yeah, he got wing damage, but yeah, someone is also in the hairpin, stuck or some. I have no idea. Shakalaka is struggling with the ping issues right now, but yeah, the gap between P and 2 is like going up and down all over the map, but. Yeah, I feel like they have similar pace, but in Monaco, like if you go like a bit slower, you lose a lot of tenths because it's such a slow circuit. But yeah, Heat will be very satisfied with the crush of the game, sadly. But let's see if he can come back later. I'm expecting a pit stop maybe around like lap 21 or around 20, but yeah.
He is closing the gap though. He was really burning the overtake down the straights in the tunnel and then also the run up to back. So let's see if he can close the gap to within a second here. Not for this DRS detection point, but maybe for the next one. Again, using the overtake. And the gap is exactly 1 second right now.
Yeah, and they are coming up to boosted right now. As Crowley pits pretty early. Oh, it's wing damage. The catalyst for Monaco. He gets a wing damage and he pits from hard to hard or medium to hard. Yeah, medium to hard. I think he can stay out for the whole race. I think it's possible, but we'll see if he can make it happen, Crowley. But yeah, Bans and Heat already 6 tenths only gap. They closed the gap very fast. As Kirkidis and Crowley, they're very close to each other. Kirkidis trying to make the move, but it's pretty hard here in Monaco. Crowley has a bit of colder tires, but yeah. Oh, Crowley gets a bit wide at the hairpin.
He might get him here. Tipsy banged the wall a little bit there in the second to last corner. DRS open now for Heat. But that guy pulls out a nice gap down the front straight, so it's very close. Might have a look up the inside, but nothing more than that. Maybe up the hill you can do something here. There is a lap car up ahead, so maybe that will play into this battle a little bit as he really catches that bounce now on the straight.
Ooh, as tries to mix the move, he goes for it, yeah.
Around the outside now, he's got the outside for the hairpin also. Can that bounce hold on? This is the battle for the lead, remember. That bounce will not want to give this up. And he will not. He holds on to the position. Brilliant.
Oh, that was racing. Yeah, that was good attempt from Heat, but Bans keeps it on like around the outside. It was that was very good moves from both drivers, but Bans has the ERS advantage right now. He has 40%. Heat is flashing, but yeah, that was very good. Yeah, you said like Bans has wing damage right now, right?
No, he did brush the wall in the second to last corner, which compromised his exit, but I don't think he got any damage for it.
Oh. As Williams moves out the way, but he's pushing him around the last sector. Let's see if he can make the move again. I think he should maybe reserve some ERS. He's very lacking, only 14% though.
Genius in chat, by the way, saying he got random freezes, which put him into the wall, basically, what we saw. So, yep, that's the reason he is out. As Heat again, really close now.
Yeah. Bans seems struggling a lot. I think he has maybe wing damage, to be honest, but it's not really appearing. There was a weird line around the hairpin going all over the curve, but Bans struggling a lot in here in Monaco.
Maybe his tires are just overheating because he was sliding around quite a bit the last 2 laps. So maybe trying to get his temperatures down as heat closes right up to the gearbox now in the braking zone. Cuts a big chunk of that curve there to gain time, but still not close enough to try anything. But we might see something happen on the main straight.
Yeah, I'm trying to snap the temperature from the wheel, but seems like they're still around the 104, so it's all good. But we get some action here in the hairpin. CM Punk choo-choo the train P7 to P10. No one can overtake him right now, but we'll see. Kirkidis is very close behind CM Punk. Tries to make the move, and it's too far away. Still the almost big move on
Heat is on the gearbox right now of that Vance. Almost pushed him around the corner again, trying the outside line here. Gets shoved into the wall. That Vance making his car as wide as possible. Oh,
he shoves him to the wall. There is no space for you, Heat, there. Stay back, stay back.
He is desperate because he is so frustrated that his game disconnected, that he's trying to retake the position by force now. Let's see, to the outside here. Is he gonna pull this off?
Can he make the move? Nope. He has no space. I think that's very hard to make 2 cars work there in the chicane. But yeah, he's very angry, to be honest. He seems to be wanting the position very very hard.
Well, here's the thing. If you see somebody behind you who you know is angry, you better watch out because they are prepared to do anything as that Vance pulls into the pits.
Yeah, he pits that early, at 15 only, into a set of hearts, no wing damage, so yeah, he's all good. But let's see, yep. Does he cover the undercut? Or he just does his usual strat, as also Vinny pits in from P3. Let's see.
That Vance pitting too hard, I would say for me confirms that he was struggling with tire temperatures, maybe something not right in his setup. But yeah, he clearly was struggling so much in the traction zones, which is the most, I guess, clear area where you can see tire temp issues. Of course, if your tires overheat, you really struggle for traction. So he goes to the hards, and we might see Heat pit the next lap to try that undercut that you mentioned. But he also might try to stay out and try that soft strategy, which I was expecting in the beginning of this race.
As Vinny and Chief side by side into the third sector, the straight. And I think Chief backs out of it. He didn't really make the move, but yeah, Vinny just beat it, so yeah, that's very close. Oh, that was close. That was very close. As Larsen right behind Tipsy, I think Vance made the wrong decision, to be honest. He is now stuck behind Tipsy and Larsen. He can't really make the move. It's going to be very hard. I think Keith can maybe overcut Vance if he stays out a bit longer. We'll see now. As Tipsy pits from E2, I think he just wants to make it easier for his teammate to protect Larsen. But let's see, Vance has much fresher tires than Larsen. But yeah, Larsen I think he's on the worst part of the medium right now. 12 laps, probably like 30 to 40% right now.
Goes for it here on the inside. Yep, Larsen just lets him go.
Yeah.
Knows to not fight that.
I think now Heat must pit now. He'll be behind Vance. It's the pit time is like 18 seconds. So maybe he'll be closer to maybe ahead of Vance or maybe behind Vance. But yeah, we'll see if he wants maybe a tire delta a bit to the end of the race. No, as he stays out. Could he be going for a medium soft?
Probably, but just to go back to the pit delta, that's 17.5 seconds.
Yeah, so he could have... as Kirkidis and Vinny fighting the chicane, as both crash. Oh, that was very unfortunate. As Chief just passes by, walks by Vinny and Kirkidis. That is... it's very hard to make the move into chicane, to be honest. You need someone who's willing to let you give the space. As Vinny just rams the back of Chief into the last penultimate corner, and he has wing damage now, Vinny. It's just chaos here in Monaco.
Oh, this is gonna get nasty. Almost 3 wide there.
Yeah, and Vinny almost rams the back of Kirkidis again to turn 1. But Kirkidis not really willing to let place go for Chief. He's using some ERS, but yeah. Chief
I have
is
to
ahead.
say, I'm impressed with the Crawley boys right now. Up 6 positions from the start of the race.
As Heat hits,
Yes,
Heat
does
goes
hit.
into with a soft. What a strategy from Heat. Sorry to cut you off, but yeah, Heat in P1 pits to the soft. But wow, that is surprising. I think it's maybe a 2-stop, no? It can't be a 1-stop. It cannot be a 1-stop.
I mean, 20 laps on the soft with fuel burn, it's possible, but the
No,
soft will be,
impossible,
will be pretty
man.
worn out.
Yeah, they will driving on the rim by the end of the race. I feel like Heat is a bit too eager. Or maybe looking for a 2-stop. Heat has used the alternate strategy in Bahrain. He used the medium soft, and he's played everyone in tier 3 in the Bahrain race. But now we'll see if his strategies pay off this race in Monaco. But he will be closing up Bans very fast, and he has to overtake Bans also. He can't really stay behind the Bans, or he will lose so much lap time behind a slow, hard tire runner ahead.
Well, he already gained a second, so it's totally possible to get him in the next 2 to 3 laps. Not if he does that, he just damaged his wing.
No! I think
he hit the wall so hard it must have damaged his wing for sure.
We'll do like a bit of photographs for Heat front wing. Could be still intact, but yeah, I hope it's still intact. We'll see his pace now. If he's lacking, maybe he's has been damaged. Yeah. But yeah, I would say about Crawley Voice, he's up to P3 right now. Very good race from him.
Yep, running in no man's land, but keeping his nose clean, which is the most important piece of that performance right now. So if he can keep doing this, I think he'll be on the podium at the end of the race for sure. Just 20 laps to go now, as Heat is still gaining time on the leader. But it's not as quick as he needs to, though. I'm not sure about the damage. It might just be line damage. Is that still a thing? I don't know. You know this game better than I do, but...
yeah, I think so. Could be. But... yeah, go on.
It's certainly not ideal, which was what I was going to say.
Yeah,
also not ideal is the lap car for that Bans, but gets by it. Still loses half a second in that corner alone, though.
Yeah, the issue here, I think, is Heat has to push a lot. He has to use his soft tires, and with that, you come the risk with the wing damage, as he demonstrated, to be honest, with a wall hit. But yeah, I don't know. I think Bans staying out on the hards, I think, is the correct strategy, to be honest.
Well, it certainly is right now because he's in the lead, so he doesn't really have to worry about anything. It's basically up to Heat if they crash or not, which sounds kind of funny, but if he goes for it in a place that, you know, is not a typical overtaking opportunity, then it's up to him to avoid contact, and if he does go for it, then he can only really damage his own race because he's going to have to pit one more time anyway.
Yeah, Heat has been a bit aggressive with his moves against Bans, but yeah, I think he's struggling with a bit of understeer, to be honest. Like, I want to switch to his onboard a bit. See how he's taking the corners. Check his wing damage as Larsen is closing onto Crawley. Larsen's on the softs. Could be doing the same strat as Heat. A 2-stop with the soft, but yeah, I would say now Heat on board. Let's see if he has wing damage or not, but he's closing to Pants. Seems to be fine, to be honest. Not really any visible understeer.
At the 4P3, by the way, Crowley Voice and Larson. Larson on the softs has closed that gap right down in the last few laps. It was about 8 seconds, just 3 laps to go. So Crowley doing that drive to survive kind of strategy, which is working at the moment. But Larson clearly much faster as Larson hits the back of the Alfa Romeo here.
It's kind of surprises you with the slow pace ahead, like with the new tires. But yeah, he has to be a bit careful, Larson. I think he's going for the move right now on Crowley, but he's a bit too far though. I think a poor exit from the last corner.
Both about the same on ERS as well, so it's not really going to be that easy for Larson to get by. Monaco, very difficult to pass, and I don't think Crowley is going to make any dumb mistake because he's just been driving the track as peacefully as possible, trying to not make a mistake, not hit the wall, which he's doing very well right now. Just does look up a little bit, but nothing too major. Stays away from that wall very much, as you can see right there. As Larson now with DRS might have a go here into turn 1, but still too far away. Oh, I hear it. For sure he's going to make a move here.
He's using the ERS, and he can't really make the move still. Like, he's just pushing him, pushing Crowley ahead, but you have to commit. I think Larson has to commit. Larson is a bit of a careful driver, as we say. He's not really aggressive, but he has to, you know, just send it. Just send it one corner and you'll be ahead. But also Crowley is fighting for the place against Larson. He really has to let him go. As long as Larson is behind, Crowley is as he's fighting the inside. He goes a bit wide into chicane, but he's still ahead.
Yeah, Crowley does a perfect job of placing his car exactly at the right point where Larson is uncomfortable making a move, but he also doesn't compromise his own racing line. He can still take the corners pretty well with the right amount of speed. So that's just perfect defensive driving at the moment from the Alfa Romeo of Crowley Voices. Punk has retired and his run comes to an end. Was up in P7 for a while, but
it's a VC. Yeah, it's a full safety, and I mean it's a virtual safety car. Still no full safety car in this race, but yeah, could we see some pit stops? Maybe Kirkidis on 19 lap or hard. We'll see.
I think you'll see Heat pit again because he did drop back quite a bit on the last few laps, so I do think he really does have wing damage. So if the VSC is long enough, he might be able to pit for a fresh set of softs to go to the end as well, because there's only 15 laps to go now. So
and he has the gap also.
Yes, he also has the gap. So it makes sense for him to do that, but of course, you never know if he does go for it, because we're not in the cockpit. He has to make that decision for himself. But to us, it seems the go-to to do.
I think just go for the medium if you have the new medium or the hard, but or maybe a soft if he has a new soft.
Yeah, same for Tipsy, by the way. He could also do the same because he is stuck behind 2 cars. He also has the gap to the car behind.
He stays out. Why? I don't know. Like what? You have the gap. You really can't really make the softs last to the end of the race. It's impossible. And you lose pace as the race goes on. Like as many laps as comes, you soft will lose a lot of pace.
Oh, spinning. Penalty for speeding under the VSC. So he tried to time the restart, I think, and just...
Oh, it's a drive-through actually. It's a drive-through for Crowley and Vinny, both a drive-through. Wow, that is very unfortunate for Crowley. He has a good race before, but now he has a pit for no reason. But yeah, Larson pits again for a set of softs. He can, I think he can maybe catch Tipsy. I don't know, it's too big a gap. Tipsy is also sick, by the way, so you know, keep it in mind for his pace. But I think he can make top 3 happen. Honestly, Tipsy, he can make the podium happen. Even with the wing damage in the first few laps, I got recovery from Tipsy, to be honest. But yeah.
Yeah, I have to say I'm a bit bummed that Crowley was with that penalty, because Crowley was driving so well, defending so well. He really didn't need to do that. It's just unnecessary, really. As yeah, Crowley now picks for that drive-through penalty. So that's gonna take away his chances of a podium, most likely. I don't think he can get it out, because Tipsy's been driving so clean as well. Just keeping his car in one piece as he goes up the hill now. Still has plenty of ERS as well, does Tipsy, so he can afford to push a little bit more if he wants to, which I doubt he will, because he's got 14 seconds to the car behind now, and 20 seconds to the car in front. So no point to really do that.
Yeah.
But we see more drivers making well, decisions that didn't make much sense. So you know, you never know. You might see it.
As also, Tipsy is still stuck behind Vinny, but Vinny has a drive-through, so maybe Kirkidis has to be maybe let go finally. I think he's been stuck behind one car the whole race, like be it an Alpine or an Alfa Romeo. Oh, what? Oh, he did a Nico Rosberg. He goes too deep, almost hitting Vinny, but he survives Kirkidis.
Yeah, he made a mistake when he didn't really need to do that, because I think there's a set number of laps in which you have to complete a drive-through penalty. I think it's three laps.
Yeah, 3 laps. Yeah,
yes. So if he just stuck behind for a lap or two longer when he has to serve that penalty, you will get by anyway. There's no point in trying to push an issue there or force an issue there when you're gonna get the position anyway. But that's just my standpoint. I would have probably done that differently, but. It's Kirikid is in the cockpit, so as Shakalaka almost hit the wall on the hairpin there, by the way, for good measure, because why not? But Vinny now into the pits to serve the drive-through.
But yeah, Larsen is on the heels of Crowley with the new softs. Larsen, he's a still a careful driver. Oh, side by side into the hairpin. Can he make it work? No, he cannot. Yeah, switchback maybe. He has to make the exit work though. Let's see, he can make it work or not. Some years. Let's see, Crowley, does he make it happen? Larsen is defending the inside though. As he goes wide and he cuts the chicane. Larsen, as he pits. That's surprising. He should have pitted under the VSC, but he's now behind the Ferrari. Heat. The Mercedes strategy team has been off today, to be honest. I don't know what the start there, but he can still make it happen, to be honest. Like 6 seconds in like 11 laps. He can make it happen. He can overtake Tipsy. But yeah. I think catching is a different story than overtaking in Monaco. You can surely catch, but overtake, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. I still don't understand this score really, like you also mentioned. If you just put it under the VSC, you would have had a shot at winning the race. Yeah. But now he's fighting for P2, so yeah. I don't know, maybe something for him to consider for the next few races this season, but yeah, hopefully for Heating he can still get away with a P2 finish. As for Tipsy, I really do hope for him also that he can get it. Very likable guy, so I would definitely like to see him get a good result here. Might be a Ferrari 1-2 at the end of the day. We'll never find out until the race is over. So
could be could be competitor curse from Julian right now, but
I hope not. I really hope not. I take it back. I didn't say anything.
But yeah, Heat is a bit too hot-headed for Tipsy. Tipsy is could be defending very hard for the position, but yeah, Larsen is still stuck behind Crowley. As Crowley goes wide into turn 1 and just Larsen steps by the inside. Easy move from Larsen. Finally into P4. He's surely happy right now, Larsen, but yeah, finally makes a move. As also Chief is now behind Tilda, the other Aston Martin. Wow. That was very exciting as Heat is closing every lap, scraping the walls. Tipsy maybe he's looking at his mirror a lot, a bit too much, but yeah, let's see if he can make the defense happen, Tipsy, with his old hearts against fresh softs. We'll see.
Probably not, but we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, both using a lot of ERS as he backs out of the move into turn 1.
Yeah, he's gonna get him here for sure on the inside into Casino.
Yeah, but Tipsy still has a bit of as he gets pushed from behind though. Hopefully no wing damage for Tipsy or Heat. But yeah, Heat is eager to make the move happen against Tipsy. But yeah, Crowley pits for new softs, it like.
Yep, and his day has just gone from bad to worse with that penalty. Now also pitting again with 10 laps to go. So yeah, don't forget, Prodi was running inside the top 3 and driving a brilliant race. And it's now all gone south for him.
Heat tries to make the move into chicane on the inside, but Tipsy doesn't leave the space. And I think Heat went too much. I think he's going too hard for the position, to be honest. He has to save some ERS and make the move again. But yeah, Tipsy, I think he's not really happy right now with the moves Heat's making against him. That's very close to the DNF, to be honest, for either Heat and Tipsy. But yeah.
I'm sure you'll have a good time in the interview room in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, Tipsy is also sick, so yeah, as Heat on the inside and up the hill, he doesn't have the ERS though. He has no speed to make the move. Heat has to. I feel like Tipsy is slowing down. Oh.
Yeah, no, this is not great.
No.
He's been influenced by Otis Lawrence and PSGR, I think.
Yeah, Heat has to take a step back a bit, breathe a bit, save some ERS, and then make the move on Tipsy. But yeah, that is not a move to make against Tipsy in Monaco, to be honest. But yeah.
Yeah, I think unsportsmanlike in my opinion, personally.
I think the FIA will make a bit of maybe an investigation into these moves from Heat, but yeah, he has to be a bit too careful not to spin Tipsy and himself. Also, if there is no space, there's no space. Then we don't make the move.
Yeah, McKendra in chat also saying, "What is this? Stop bullying Tipsy." I mean, it really is. I mean, if it was Carlos Sainz, he would say he's intimidating me. But yeah, no, okay. As he gets a penalty, and
no, that is not
I'm
it.
sorry to say this, but he deserves a big penalty for his driving etiquette today. This is not the team.
That is not it. Yeah. Heat is. I guess he's not happy about his pace, or I mean his position right now from the disconnect to the pit stops, but you still cannot move there. Like, if they have no space, there's no space. Don't make the move, man. That is very unfortunate for Heat. He'll be not even P3 right now. Larson is also close by, and you can also expect maybe some FIA decisions for Heat. But yeah, that is not it. Not the move to make.
The thing is, Tipsy isn't doing anything wrong as well. He's just placing his car on the inside to block a way through. He's not doing anything illegal.
Yeah.
But Heat is just shoving his nose in there when there's just no gap, which you said. So, yeah. Anyway, Ocean Chief very close behind Tilt right now. Maybe he can do something in the final 6 laps to get a top 5 finish, which would also make his day, I'm sure.
Yeah, and also Heat has a penalty, a 3 seconds penalty, so Larson could steal the podium from Heat, and it could be a disastrous weekend for Heat. But yeah, Kitsun, Tipsy's partner in chat says, you shall not pass for Heat, and Heat shall not pass. He's now 2 seconds back from Tipsy. And Tipsy, I think he must be in fighting mode right now. He got you know, he's been
He's
sick.
getting ready to throw a punch
Yeah.
again now.
Yeah, for sure. He's not really happy for the moves he has been making on him right now. But yeah, 5 laps. I mean, maybe 5.5. But Heat is closing very fast on Tipsy. We'll see if he can make the move cleanly this time. Not really just just sending it to the inside. It's been a very exciting race from calm point of view.
It might get even more exciting because Heat is closing the gap to Tipsy. We might see another crash between those two caused by Heat, but Larson is also closing the gap to Tipsy. So with only 5 laps to go, they might both catch them, which means that Heat, with his penalty applied, might still drop behind Larson, even though he is pulling away right now. But in about a lap or two, he won't have any gap to pull anymore because there's no space for him to go, because Tipsy is occupying that space. So he will probably still drop to P4, Heat is, but yeah, we will never know. Maybe he will crash out Larson also.
Yeah, Larson has a bit older tires than Heat, so yeah, we'll see if he can make the move on Larson. But if Tipsy can hold Heat a bit more, it could be a 3-way fight for P2.
Should I make a bad joke?
Yeah, it's kind of a bit too quiet right now, so yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna heat up real bad right now.
As Heat hits the wall on the swimming pool again, but it could be Heat is sliding all over. I think his tires are not really happy. His car is not happy. His team is not happy, and Tipsy is also not happy. But yeah, we'll see. He's catching the Tipsy still, but they seem to be a bit careful, Tipsy and Heat. Not really pushing the gas and the brake too hard, but yeah.
Larson inside 3 seconds now, exactly what I was talking about a moment ago. Heat is right behind Tipsy. He's got nowhere to go now because of his penalties. So because of that, Larson is now closing into Heat again. And with that 3-second time penalty, Heat will drop down to P4. So it will be a Ferrari 1-2 with an Aston Martin there as well at the end of this. Provided, of course, the Aston Martins can keep it on the track, which they probably will.
Yeah, I hope they will, because Larson has been deserving of a podium after his race in Spain last week. As also Heat is now 17th behind only. He's drifting all over behind Tipsy. Tipsy, I think, has red eyes for Heat right now, but I hope they keep it clean this time. Don't risk it too much.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Larson does deserve a podium. Even despite the mistakes that he made, hitting the wall a few times, his pace more than justifies finishing on a podium, even despite the VSCs also. His pace has allowed him to get back up here. He was at the back end of the top 10 like 20 laps ago, so for him to get a podium, I think he'll be really happy about this race, despite not finishing in the top 2 or winning the race. I mean, he don't get me wrong, he had the pace for it. They have to string it together, which the 2 Ferraris clearly did, because they are, well, that Benz at least on himself is half a minute ahead of the field, just driving a really good race. But Tipsy also just driving a really clean race, keeping his nose clean, not keeping his diffuser clean, but that's not his fault.
Yeah.
So yeah, just a great race from those 2, and I'm sure Larson will be happy with their podium.
Yeah, and Larson seems to be catching Heat same pace as Heat catching Tipsy. But yes, in chat, Thomas with an A last name, I don't know what your last name is, I think it's a bit tricky, but he says that Vance Tier Alien win. Yeah, Vance is 30 seconds ahead of P2 right now. He's cruising, he can even pit now, he can pit for his fastest lap. Will he pit though? We'll see, maybe it's a bit too...
I think he will.
Yeah, he can see this from... Who has the fastest lap right now? We'll see. Let's check. I don't know to check, but... it's Heat. his rival, his main rival. Okay, let's see if he hits. I mean, Ban spits right now, but no, he stays out.
That's a bit of a shame. I think he could have used the bonus point in the championship, to be fair, but I guess he just wants to secure the 25 points. Even though he probably would have won anyway, even if he did damage his wing on his fast lap attempt.
Yeah. Yeah, he has a lot of gap behind him as top. I mean, P2, P4, 7/10 each behind each other. Will anyone go for a move, or they will stay? Ooh, Larsen goes to the back of Heat into the second to last corner. I think Heat is going a bit too slow, and Tipsy also. They're cruising. I think they're done with their moves. They're done with their fighting, but Larsen is not. He's wanting to catch up, and he slammed a bit of the back of Heat. You could have wing damage, Larsen, but yeah, we'll see.
Advance is still pulling away, by the way, from P2. Just flexing his muscle on the field right now.
Yeah,
already pulled out 1.5 seconds at this lap.
Yeah, Vance is showing his Ferrari pace, his true pace right now against the others. He's role playing Max Verstappen in real life, real F1. But yeah, it's the last lap right now for Vance. Yeah, I think there's no one gonna make any moves, to be honest. Right now, it seems to be a quiet ending to the race. Everyone has made their moves, and they have failed, or maybe been too much for Heat inside with no space. Maybe he's following Senna's quotes: "If car, then space." I mean, if space, then car. But yeah, Heat has been a bit too aggressive with his move in this race, but yeah, he's falling back a bit from Tipsy, but Larsen 4/10 behind Heat. Yeah, Larsen, I think he has to stay put. Larsen, just stay put. Heat has fought many battles before you, and he's not really happy to make a space for you. So yeah, that's my thoughts on them.
Vinny also pitted for softs, by the way, but we're already on the final lap, so I don't think he can get a proper attempt in for the fastest lap, but I don't know about the score exactly.
And Baz crosses the line. P1 for Ferrari, maybe P1 and 2 for Ferrari right now, but yeah, Baz is winning Spain right now and a win in Monaco. He's showing himself to be a championship contender right now. But yeah, that was good pace from Baz. I mean, 35 seconds gap to P2. That is mega from Baz, mega. But yeah, Tipsy is now the last corner, crosses the line, about to cross the line. In P2, Ferrari P1 and 2, first time since decades. But yeah, Larsen up to P3 with a podium from Heat penalty. Wow, what a race, huh?
Definitely, yeah. That was, even though it's Monaco, I think that was still an exciting one. But yeah, congrats to that Benz on winning. Tipsy also on P2 and Larsen P3. I have to say for myself personally, Tipsy is my driver of today, despite being unwell, still finishing P2 as the biggest mover in the field still running. So congrats to him. As for my evening here, I'm gonna leave the interviews up to you. So I want to thank you for having me, man. And,
yeah, it was very fun to be honest with you. Yeah, it was very exciting to be commentating with you guys, Julian, and hope to see you again in the commentary booth. And I will handle the interviews alone. Thank you. Bye bye.
No worries, man. It was a pleasure. See ya.
Yeah,
have a good evening, everybody.
It's been wow, a very exciting race to be honest. I didn't expect it to be this hyped, but still Bans P1. His teammate is missing from the podium, seems like. Maybe he's going to the medical station. Tipsy, he's a bit sick right now, but yeah, Ferrari 1-2 with a good drive from Larsen in P3. He held on behind Heat and he gets a podium again. Larsen seems to be picking up his pace right now in T3. and maybe we'll see him in fighting for maybe wins in the next few races. But yeah, Vance P1, Larson P2. No, I mean Tipsy P2 and Larson P3. But yeah, Codemasters a bit buggy this game. I don't even see Tipsy. Oh, there it is. Yeah. What a race! Oh, that is very exciting. It's now a bit quiet for me, but yeah, we'll see maybe some interviews from Vance or maybe Larson. Maybe Heat also spicy interviews from Heat. We'll see if someone is willing to be interviewed. But yeah, I feel like Tipsy sick and finishing in P2, he has to be the driver of the day. But yeah, good race from everyone. Seems to be no one wanting to be interviewed. We'll see. Could be a fast one. Oh yeah, Chief P6. Yeah, he was a bit quiet this race. Yeah, P6 for Chief. I think the same thing as Spain. Same position as Spain, but yeah. P1 and 2 for Ferrari. That was. They seem to be closing the constructors already. That was a good race from Vance. 35 seconds gap. Mental from Vance. We'll see if anyone wants to interview though. We can pull just maybe Chief. I think we can pull Chief. Maybe he's a bit too unaware of an interview, so he'll be surprised a bit. Or will he be pulled? Welcome, Chief. The P6 for you this race. I mean, P7 maybe was a bit of a hard one for me, no?
Wasn't it P6 now?
P6, yeah. I mean, Tipsy has been spunt. I mean, yeah. I don't know actually.
Yeah,
so could be bugged.
I was P6 on track anyway. Whenever I passed line. Yeah, I got screwed at turn 1. I don't know. I'm kind of figuring out now with chat here what happened, but apparently there was some issue with Lepson. And I had Tipsy ahead of me, but ahead of Tipsy was Lepson. And it looked to me like there was a car that just decided to stop on the outside of turn 1. And I just got big front wing damage. Had to put on a hards. Yeah, put on hards. And then went to mediums. And I was just stuck behind people. And it wasn't a good time, but I finished it. I'm alive.
You're happy?
So,
Did you have wing damage? I think I saw your wing damage.
I had slight wing damage at the end there. It was very hard to follow Tilda. It looked like he had wing damage, so I was trying to line him up for a pass, but as you know, it's very difficult at this track.
Oh.
Yeah, so I couldn't follow him closely because I need to see my the apex and stuff, and then I've got a car in front of me. I'm just guessing. So yeah, I lost my confidence, went into the wall, glanced off the wall, got yellow wing damage. Yeah,
but you held on, no?
Sorry?
But you held on, no?
Yeah, I mean, I just did what I do, as they say. Did what I do. I'm gonna coin that phrase and copyright it. I did what I do. Yeah, I mean, like I did practice for this race a good bit. Like I was trying to get my quali time, pretty good. And I think you saw it yourself. Like I think I did a 10.64 in practice. But obviously that doesn't count towards actual race sessions. So I think I had 11.2, and then I DNF'd in the quali, which seems to be a running theme for me now because I did it in the last race as well. But yeah, I was able. I think I started at P8 or P9, so already I'm on a back foot. You know what Monaco's like. You need to be at the front, especially if there's carnage. And yeah, so there's that. I don't know what happened out in the track, by the way. Like Iceman was kind of saying Heat was doing some weird trolling on track.
Yeah. It was a spicy fight for P2, tipsy and heat. But yeah, it was, I don't know. We'll see after the race in FIA, but it was not really the clean racing we want in SLR, to be honest. But yeah, we'll see. We have a look at it in the FIA. But yeah, it was a good race, to be honest. Like Bance also had like a good race, but you in P6 or P5 was good. P6.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because mine is bugged, so I will be confused all over. But how was also Crowley voice race? Let's pull him in also, because
Yeah, I mean, he was in some good spots, but I think just with him is just consistency, and obviously Monaco it tests your limits to the boundaries. He's on controller, he's no assist, which is obviously crazy, because you've got a lot of inputs to consider, and this is like one of the toughest tracks. I would imagine for the controller. Yeah, so he was in P3 at one point, or looking like he might finish P3, but then I don't know how. I think he picked up wing damage and he had to compromise his race, pit, and then he ended up behind me. And yeah, it's just one of those races where you're like, I wonder what would happen if I didn't lose my front wing at turn 1, lap 1. But Monaco's a weird one for me because there's parts of that race where I'm like, hey, I'm getting the hang of this. Like I feel like, I've got good pace. And then other laps where I felt like it was the first time I've ever driven a car. I was just like tiptoeing
Yeah.
around going like, oh God. But yeah, yeah, that's it pretty much. I put a lot of practice in, and that's league racing for you, isn't it? You put a lot of practice in, and then sometimes you just DNF a turn 1. You don't even make turn 1. So thankfully I was able to finish the race, got points, a bit disappointed that I didn't get more points, but you live and learn, and we can always look towards Canada, which I also hate. I'm looking forward to Silverstone.
We also got, wait, we got Polly here. I want him to comment on his drive-through in the VC, the second VSC. What happened, Crowley?
I don't know what happened. I was down by 1 second on my delta, and in last corner, and for I don't know weird reasons, it just disappeared, and I was like plus on delta. So yeah.
So how was your race, though, Crowley? You went up.
It was
from...
all good until the drive-through. After the drive-through, I got like, I don't know, 2 or 3 wing damages. Yeah, at the final 3 laps, I was driving with no wing, so yeah.
Yeah, I saw you fighting with also Kirkitis and maybe Vinny also, or was that Chief? Oh yeah, Chief. Yeah, Chief got punted from behind into the second to last corner by Vinny. You remember, Chief?
That was one of those moments where I lost confidence in the ability to drive the car. So I might have been driving a bit slower than usual, and I might have caught Vinny off guard. But I think I could see Vinny was like, I knew what he was going to do. He was going to, the penultimate corner or leading into the penultimate corner. He was going to send it up the inside, and I've seen. I think it was Leclerc did that move last year. Or maybe the year before, or maybe I don't know. But do you know what I'm talking about? Like that penultimate corner, you have to get a really like straight line to brake.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I could see him going to the inside. So I think he was more kind of like focused on that rather than going, oh, the guy ahead of me slowing down. I should probably brake to avoid smashing into his car, which he did, and then he had to pit. So it kind of like it didn't really do much for my race, like, but it really kind of hurt his race. He probably, if he had it, I think some people when they race Monaco, they think, oh, I'm gonna just pass anyway. I'll just force a pass, but it's like the real life racing. Like you really need to be committed to the move. You can't just half-ass it or just wing it because you'll lose your wing.
Nice joke, Chief. But yeah, we want to finish a bit earlier today. But how do you guys feel about Canada, though, for the Alfa Romeo boys? Do you feel confident or not?
No.
I expect maybe rain in Canada.
Yeah, we haven't had any rain yet. Yeah, I've heard rain is terrible with no assists. I don't know. I generally don't like Canada, but from previous seasons, I don't know about this game, but previous seasons it was all about penalties. Really, if you had consistent pace and you were able to avoid penalties, you would probably have a really good finish. But as you say, rain could play a big part. So we're just going to see how we do. I don't personally like the track usually because those chicanes are so hard to get right, especially in cockpit view.
Yeah.
But and then the track limits as well if you push too hard. But yeah, we'll put some laps in. I think we're going to get better over the season, me and Crowley, because we work well together and we're trying to push each other to greatness.
Yeah, it seems to me Corley has pushed you to practice a bit earlier than previous seasons, so that's great to see, to be honest.
To be honest, like yeah, like previous seasons, I would have practiced like 5 minutes before a race, whereas now I will put a few laps in, and yeah, it's been good. I think it's the game. It's the game's a lot more enjoyable to play, and that means yeah, I'll put more time into it. Whereas previous games, they just yeah, it was very hard to motivate yourself to practice. But there's a bit of a buzz about this game, a bit of optimism, and a bit of hope on the horizon. So yeah, I'm kind of enjoying it for the most part. I'm still not where I want to be. I would like to be contending for wins, and I do.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm way off here, but I do hope to get a race win by the end of the season.
Yeah, I'm also praying for you, Chief. Yeah.
Yeah, I need all the prayers, bro.
I think the only way is up, right?
Exactly, man.
Well, thank you guys. I'll have our race winner though a bit better result from you guys, so you guys can
All right.
leave. Bye bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Good luck, guys. Oh, our race winner, Bance.
Hi. Hello.
A 35 seconds gap to P2. The race was amazing for you, no?
Yeah, I mean, credits to Tipsy for that one because he just held my opponent behind the entire time. So he made that one really easy for me.
Yeah.
Anti is ill and everything too, and he still finished second. So, yeah, Tipsy's a legend. I hope you've already voted him driver of the day because
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
he does deserve it.
Yeah,
Hell
he was like P15 the first lap. I was surprised he fell off so hard into I think turn 1 with an incident, and he's now back to P2 by the end. That was good race from
Yeah.
even with the sickness. So yeah.
Oh, especially because of
Yeah.
that as well. It's like, yeah, well deserved for sure. And,
But yeah, I saw your race. You had a bit of battles with heat. How were they for you? Like at least were they clean or not?
I mean, I felt really bad because like I did to him what always happened to me like previous years when I used to league races as well. And Monaco, where like you just get stuck behind someone that's way slower than you and you just can't do anything. And I did that to him, and so I felt bad while I was doing it, but
Yeah.
I did what I had to do because I got wing damage, like 6 or 7 laps in like dark yellow.
Oh.
And I had 2 warnings after 2 laps. So I was like, wow, this is looking pretty bad. So I turned it off so I wouldn't get a new wing on the pit stop because I had to be in front of him.
Yeah.
By the time we did the pit cycles. And it's good I did because obviously he went on softs, which was the right thing to do because he had to try and get past me. That's the biggest pace differential he could get. But he didn't do it in the first couple laps. And by that time, his tires died. And then it was too late.
Yeah.
And then when he tried the second time, he was behind Tipsy. So he didn't really have a chance, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think you put it a bit earlier for the track position, but yeah, I saw your pace was a bit lacking, like lap 10
big
around
time.
there, like when he was pushing you from behind heat. But I think he went for a bit too aggressive strategy with the too soft. Maybe he was maybe planning to pit 2 times for the soft by the end. But I think in Monaco you have to be ahead. You have to go medium hard or pit a bit early. Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you do, just make sure you keep the position. That's why I didn't switch the wing either, because it doesn't matter even if it makes you 2 seconds faster. If you can't overtake in the places where, the few places you can overtake, then you're done for. That's what happened with Heat, because it was definitely faster.
Yeah.
I just capitalized on the fact I was in front. And
yeah, I think even if he also if he put it under the second VSC, he had like a 20-second gap behind him, and he stayed out with the softs. But yeah, I think you were lucky and had a good pace. Was also Tipsy. Tipsy was blocking Heat very it was a bit too maybe over the limit for Heat. But yeah, I was surprised to not see you pit by the end like Max style for the fastest lap.
No, because that's really pretentious. Like, I don't think I really deserved like the win in that way because I wasn't the fastest or anything. I just happened to be, I just had, I guess, the race sense to like make sure whatever happens, I'm in front when
Yeah.
things go down. But that's all I did. Like, I didn't really do much else. I was driving around, like, apart from like the car being so obviously from the wing damage, I was also under driving a lot because it's just like don't get more damage and that's it. So,
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I'd like to talk it up as if it was like some great miracle win or something, but I don't know. I just I did what I had to do. But no, I would be a bit pretentious if I pitted to get the fastest lap at them as well. I
Now,
don't know
to
who
be,
got it. I think it was Heat, right?
I think yeah,
Well
it was
deserved.
that's why I said you should do a pit for it. But yeah, he's your main rival. But yeah, you're fighting
Yeah, it wasn't
side by
mine to
side.
have.
Where
It wasn't mine to have.
I think you're fighting side by side, like into the first stint was very good to watch. To be honest, like it was very clean.
Oh.
Space was given between like each side, but and you came out on top. So I think you deserve the win. Your experience maybe in league racing helped you a bit, but yeah, it's a good race from the Ferrari boys. 1-2, second win for you after Spain. How do you feel about Canada next race?
Oh, Canada is an excellent move.
Yeah, could be rain also. Could be
Yeah.
rain maybe. I think rain is also maybe common in Canada races. To be honest.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. Canada. I mean, I don't hate the track or anything, but I'm really bad at it usually. It's one. I mean, I think I'm competent at like most tracks, but Canada is one of the couple ones where I don't have any pace. I just don't. So we'll see what happens. I don't know.
This could be your weak point in Canada, no? But yeah,
Oh yeah,
I think you should
we'll see
maybe
what happens.
practice more than 15 minutes, no?
Yeah, maybe I should. Yeah.
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 Well, I guess thank you for
Good
the
point.
race. It was awesome to watch, to be honest, and great fighting, great strategy for you, and 1-2 for Ferrari. Yeah, good luck, guys, in the next race, and hope to see you, fighting for the top positions every race.
Hell yeah! Thanks for commentating.
Yeah, no problem. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Wow, that was a bit a long interviews for maybe three people, but yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed the race in Monaco. It was a bit chaotic, a bit too over the line from some drivers, but yeah, it's people fight here for championships, for glory in SLR, and sometimes you need to push a bit too much, but sometimes it's too hard for Heat, to be honest. Like he pushed a bit too much tipsy, and he lost because of it. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and hopefully you guys tune in for tomorrow in Tier 2, and also next week. Like and subscribe, and see you tomorrow.